Welcome to the first episode of a series of webcasts where we plan to answer different questions about COVID-19 in APAC. My name is Pablo Gomez, and I am the Chief Strategy Officer and Media Lead at Kantar Insights in APAC. And I will talk about media in the time of COVID-19. In the next 10 minutes, I will answer some of the key questions that clients are asking us. What can we expect of the media investment in 2020? Well, traditionally, media investment is highly correlated with GDP and consumers' expenditure. Before the outbreak, GDP growth was expected to be close to 3%, and GroupM anticipated a growth in media of 3.9%. But after coronavirus outbreak, an OECD report anticipates that GDP growth is projected to drop to 2.4% in 2020, almost half a point globally. In the worst scenario, some projections say the global growth could drop to 1.5% in 2020. That's half the rate projected prior to the virus outbreak. For that reason, we expect a significant negative impact in the media investment. Then, should I stop, continue, increase, or decrease my media investment? Well, don't stop for more than 6 months if you have to. Where supply of the product or service is maintained, analysis of our brand guidance database showed that brand health may become vulnerable when a brand stops advertising. However, when the time of air is 6 months or less, the effects are minimal. Bigger brands are more likely to suffer a decline than smaller brands. That means that big brands should continue leading the media landscape if they don't want to be ambushed by smaller and bolder players. Then, which touchpoint should I focus on? Well, go for digital, but don't forget the TV. Our data shows how 52% of consumers across 6 Asian countries declare to be cutting down on outdoor activities and are spending more time at home. This has a clear impact on media consumption. Less out of home, less experiential events, or less exposure to transport. And definitely more digital and television. A Kantar research in China actually shows how the consumption of different forms of digital as well as television have increased during the coronavirus outbreak. Also, don't miss out the possibility of investment beyond the usual big platforms. For example, in news or music streaming platforms, or even in the traditional radio music channels. This also represents the comeback of television. Actually, data from Kantar Media Spain, a country that is currently in a hard lockdown, shows how television consumption has increased exponentially in these last weeks. From the 3 hours and 56 minutes consumed by every person on a regular weekend day, since the lockdown, television got up to 5 hours and 35 minutes. That's more than 90 minutes of consumption. News have been the main driver, as people have the need to be continually informed of the evolution of the situation. Kantar Media Spain also thinks that people will suffer from news saturation and will start moving to other types of entertainment like Netflix, Amazon Prime, or HBO. Spain is a country with a heavy consumption of television as well as digital, with a similar media pattern to many countries in Asia, so we can expect the same consumption patterns in our region. Also, don't miss e-commerce. SARS has been considered the genesis of e-commerce in China. When Chinese people weren't willing to go out for anything but essentials, they began shopping online. This time, we see the same pattern across the rest of Asian countries, where 32% of respondents declare that they have increased their online shopping activities. Also in Vietnam, a Kantar World Panel analysis shows that in the last month, there was a peak on usage of online platforms like Lazada or Shopee. Another question we are having is, how can I get the most of my media investment? Well, the answer is focus the media investment and try to optimize it as much as you can. A Kantar pre-coronavirus analysis showed that 23% of the media investment is underperforming. Then, how to get the most of it? Well, first thing is about synergies. Television and digital create the highest level of synergies. So a campaign combining the right channels will generate an additional ROI of 24% based in our database. Second thing to do is customize the creative. So the digital platforms will increase the ROI at 67%. So try to avoid to use the same TV commercial in the digital platforms. Second thing to do is use online to be always on with your consumers. As I mentioned earlier, our brand guidance analysis show how a blackout can damage your brand. But the good news is that online is the best media to be always in touch with your consumers. Our data actually shows that digital is more effective and efficient when it's always on. Also, we need to make sure that there is sufficient frequency per week to make an impact. A weekly frequency of 1+ will be clearly much more effective. So in summary, be ready for budget cuts. We expect a decrease in advertising and media investment. For that reason, we have to make sure we are increasing the efficiencies. Also, don't stop longer than 6 months. Especially big brands should continue leading the media landscape. Focus on digital and television. And in digital, with the possibility to explore new channels that will be less cluttered, like news or music. Also, try to upscale your e-commerce capability. We know that e-commerce boomed in China during SARS. This will probably happen in other countries now. Finally, really focus on optimizing your investment. Try to find the right combination of the channels and customizing the content. And be always on. In the digital channels, ensuring a sufficient investment per week is an effective way to be in touch with your consumers all the time. And how Kantar can help? Well, Kantar have an ecosystem of media solutions, from the planning to optimize your media objectives, to measurement to understand how the activity is landing, to finally the evaluation and see how this is delivering an ROI. So please, reach out your media expert or your Kantar partner if you want to know more. Thank you very much and stay safe.